The alarm blared through Earth Command Center. Red lights flashed across the dark room. Captain Jung Kim jumped from his chair and rushed to the main screen. "What is it?" he asked. Officer Minji looked up from her station. "Sir, we have detected an unknown object entering our solar system. It's big and moving fast." June leaned forward. The screen showed a large dot moving past Neptune. It was not following any normal path. It was coming straight for Earth. "How long until it reaches us?" June asked. 3 days, sir," Minji replied. Her hands moved quickly over her screen. "It's slowing down. This is not a meteor. This is a ship." The room fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. After years of searching the stars, they were not alone anymore. Admiral Hannah Park entered the room. Her face was serious but calm. "Captain Kim, prepare your team. You will take our fastest ship to meet our visitors." June nodded. "Yes, Admiral." 2 days later, Captain Kim's ship, the Tiger, moved through the dark space. With him were his best people: Science Officer Da Han, Security Chief Haik Lee, and Communications Expert Jin Park. "There it is," said Da, pointing at their screen. The alien ship was huge. It was black and shaped like a pointed oval. It was at least 10 times bigger than the Tiger. "Any response to our messages?" June asked Jin. Jin shook his head. "Nothing, sir. I've tried all frequencies." Suddenly, the ship's computer beeped. "Captain, they're scanning us," Daz said. A voice came through their speakers. It spoke in broken English. "Earth vessel, stop. We are Mach. We claim this system." Jin looked at June with wide eyes. "They speak our language." "They must have been listening to our broadcasts for years," Daz said. June leaned forward. "This is Captain Jung Kim of Earth. We welcome peaceful contact. We invite you to..." The voice cut him off. "No welcome. No peace. We need resources. Your planet has them. We take what we need." Hyuk moved his hand to his weapon. "Sir, I don't like this." The alien ship opened what looked like doors along its side. Smaller ships came out. They were shaped like arrows and moved quickly. "They're launching fighters," Hyuk said. "We should leave now." June nodded. "Jin, send a message to Earth. Tell them what's happening. Da, keep scanning their ships. I want to know what we're dealing with." As they turned to leave, one of the smaller alien ships came very close. It was so close they could see inside. What they saw made them all freeze. Inside was not an alien pilot. It was a creature that looked like a mix between a lizard and a tiger. It had scales but also fur. Its eyes were empty, and metal parts were attached to its head. Wires went from the metal into the creature's brain. "What is that?" Jin whispered. Day adjusted his scanner. It's a living being. But those metal parts, they're controlling it. The creature isn't flying the ship. It is the ship." June stared at the beast ship. The creature's eyes showed no life, no will, only pain. It was a slave. "Full speed back to Earth," June ordered. "We need to warn everyone. These Mach don't pilot their ships or weapons. They grow them and control them. Those are living weapons." As the Tiger sped back toward Earth, June could not forget those empty eyes. The Mach did not just have advanced technology. They had living creatures they had turned into tools. "And they want our planet," he said softly. Behind them, the Mach ship continued its approach to Earth. The first battle of a war no one wanted was about to begin. 3 days after Captain Kim's return, Earth Command Center was busy with people running back and forth. In the main lab, Science Officer Da Han bent over a metal table. On it lay a dead creature. It was one of the Mach war beasts. Earth forces had shot it down during the first attack. Da carefully cut into the beast's head. Metal parts shined under his knife. Admiral Hannah Park and Captain Jung Kim watched him work. "What have you found?" asked Admiral Park. Dad pointed to the metal in the beast's skull. These are control implants. They go deep into the brain. See these wires? They connect to all parts that control movement and pain. So the Mock control these creatures directly? June asked. Yes, said Da. But it's more than that. Look here, he pointed to a small box near the spine. This gives pain if the creature does not obey. And this, he pointed to another part. This blocks feelings of fear and mercy. Admiral Park's face got hard. They make slaves that cannot feel mercy but can feel pain. Exactly, Daz said. And there's more. These creatures are not natural. The Mock made them. They mixed different animals to create the perfect war beast. On a screen nearby, pictures from the battle showed more beasts. Some were big like tanks, with thick skin and large claws. Others were small and fast, like birds but with scales. All had the same metal parts in their heads. How do we fight them? Joan asked. Day walked to another table. On it was a broken piece from one of the Mock ships. Their ships are also alive. Look. He pointed to what looked like skin and bone mixed with metal. They grow their ships and weapons. The ships are like shells around more war beasts. That's why they want our resources, Admiral Park said, to grow more beasts and ships. The door opened. A young woman in a lab coat walked in. It was Dr. Ju Choi, head of Earth's biology team. I've been listening, she said, and I have an idea. She walked to a screen and turned it on. The Mock control their beasts with pain and force. The beasts have no choice. They fight because they must. Ju showed pictures of Earth animals. Dogs, bears, birds. What if we did something different? What if, instead of forcing animals to fight for us, we asked them? What if we made them smarter and then became their friends? Admiral Park looked confused. You want to use animals to fight the Mock beasts. Not just use them, Ju said. Work with them. The Mock beasts are strong because they are made to be weapons. But they are weak because they cannot think for themselves. They only follow orders. She showed a new picture. It was a dog's brain next to a human brain. We can make animals smarter. We can help them understand. And then we can ask them to help us. And why would they help? Joan asked. Ju smiled. Because we will love them. We will care for them. They will fight for us not because they must, but because they want to protect their friends. Admiral Park looked at the dead Mock beast on the table. Its eyes were still open, empty, and sad. The Mock beasts fight out of fear, Ju said. Our animal friends would fight out of love. And love is stronger than fear. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Admiral Park nodded slowly. Start your work, Dr. Choi. How long will it take? We already have test subjects ready. If you approve, we can start bonding them with human partners right away. June thought of the empty eyes of the Mock beast. Then he thought of his dog at home, how its eyes showed trust and love. I volunteer to work with the first animal, he said. Admiral Park shook her head. No, Captain. I need you to plan our defense. But I know someone perfect for this job. She pressed a button on her wrist. Send in Lieutenant Su-Yoon. The door opened, and a young soldier walked in. She stood straight and saluted. Lieutenant, Admiral Park said, how would you like to make a new friend? Lieutenant Su-Yoon stood outside a large metal door. She was nervous. Dr. Ju Choi stood next to her, holding a tablet. Are you ready? Ju asked. Su took a deep breath. Yes. What is it? What animal will I meet? Ju smiled. We picked one that matches your personality. Loyal, brave, and smart. She touched a button, and the door slid open. Inside was a room with grass, trees, and a small pond. In the middle sat a large wolf-like dog. Its fur was gray and white. It had bright golden eyes that watched them carefully. This is K1, Ju said. He is a mix of wolf and dog. We have made his brain bigger and changed how it works. He understands human speech now, and he can think almost like we do. Sue walked slowly into the room. The wolf dog watched her but did not move. "Hello, K1," Sue said softly. The animal tilted its head. Then it spoke. Its voice was rough and simple, but clear. "Hello." Sue almost fell back in surprise. "It talks." Juwu nodded. "Yes. We changed his throat and mouth too. He can say about 100 words now, but he understands much more." K1 stood up and walked to Sue. He was big, coming up to her waist. He sniffed her hand. Nodded. K1 said, I am I." Sue knelt down to look into the animal's eyes. They were not like normal dog eyes. They were full of thought. "Yes, you are," she said. "You are not an it. You are someone. Do you have a name you like better than K1? The wolf dog thought for a moment. "Sun," he said finally. "Bright. Warm." Sue smiled. "Sun. I like that. My name is Sue." She put out her hand. Sun looked at it, then put his paw in her hand. They shook. Over the next few weeks, Sue and Sun spent every day together. They went on walks. They played games. Sue read books to Sun, and he learned more words every day. In another part of the base, Marine Huckley was paired with a bear they called Moon. Moon was not as good with words as Sun, but he was very strong. And Pilot Minjasong worked with a bird like a hawk, but bigger. The bird, named Sky, could fly very fast and see very far. One day, Admiral Park came to watch them train. Sun, Moon, and Sky worked with their human friends to solve problems. They had to find hidden things, move big objects, and send messages to each other. "They are doing well," Admiral Park said to Dr. Juwu. "But can they fight? The Mach will be here soon with their war beasts." "They are learning," Juwu said, "but we do not force them to fight. We ask, and we explain why." In the training room, Sue sat with Sun. "The Mach hurt their animals," she explained. "They make them fight by causing pain. We would never hurt you like that." Sun looked at her with his golden eyes. "Why Mach come here?" "They want to take our planet," Sue said. "They want to use it to make more war beasts and ships." Sun was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "If Mach come, Mach hurt humans." "Yes," Sue said. "They would hurt us. Maybe kill us all." Sun put his paw on Sue's hand. "Sun will not let Mach hurt Sue. Sun will fight. Not because must, because want to." Sue hugged the big wolf dog. "Thank you, Sun, but I hope you never have to fight." But as they sat together, alarms began to sound. Captain Jum Kim's voice came over the speakers. "All units prepare. Mach ships have entered Earth orbit. This is not a drill. The attack has begun." Sun looked at Sue. His eyes were not empty like the Mach beasts. They were full of care and decision. "Now Sun fights," he said. "For friends. For home." Sue nodded and stood up. "Yes. Now we fight. Together." Earth ships flew up to meet the Mach fleet. Captain Jum Kim watched from the command center as dots on the screen moved toward each other. "Our regular ships will not be enough," Admiral Park said. She turned to Juwu. "Are your teams ready?" Juwu nodded. "They are ready, but not in the way you think." In the training room, Sue put a special vest on Sun. It had small computers and lights on it. She put a matching band on her own arm. "This will help us talk to each other when we are far apart," she explained. "I can feel what you feel, and you can feel what I feel." Sun touched the vest with his nose. Sun and Sue together, even when apart. "That's right," Sue said. She put her forehead against Sun's. She closed her eyes. In her mind, she could feel Sun's thoughts. Not words, but feelings. He was excited, ready, and not afraid. In another room, Cook put a bigger vest on Moon the bear. And in the flight area, Minja put a small one on Sky the bird. Admiral Park watched on screens. "What are they doing?" she asked. They are bonding, Ju said. The vests help them share feelings. They have trained this way for weeks. Now they can work as one without speaking. On a screen, they saw the muck ships getting closer. Smaller ships came out from the big ones. Inside each small ship was a war beast, eyes empty, forced to fight. "Launch our ships," Admiral Park ordered. In the flight area, Minja got into her small, fast ship. Sky flew beside her as they took off. In the ground troops area, Hyuk and Moon got into a special transport, and Su and Sun went to a ship that could fly in space or move on land. The mock ships came fast. They shot beams of light at Earth's ships. Some Earth ships were hit and fell back toward the ground. "The mock have better weapons," Jun said as he watched. "But we have something they don't," Admiral Park replied. In space, Minji's ship flew toward a group of mock ships. Inside the mock ships, war beasts pulled levers and pushed buttons with their claws. They did not want to, but metal in their heads gave them pain if they did not obey. Minji spoke into her radio. "Sky, show me what you see." Sky flew far ahead of Minji's ship. Through their bond, Minji could see what Sky saw: a bigger mock ship hiding behind the moon. It was waiting to surprise Earth's ships. Without words, Minji and Sky made a plan. Sky flew in one direction while Minji flew in another. The mock ships followed Minji, thinking the bird was not important. That was a mistake. Sky flew behind the mock ships and used his sharp claws to tear at parts where the ship's skin was weak. He knew where to hit because Minji had studied the dead mock beast with him. On the ground, Moon and Hyuk faced a large mock beast that had landed. It was like a giant lizard with spikes. It roared at them. Hyuk did not need to tell Moon what to do. Through their bond, they thought as one. Moon ran to the left while Hyuk ran to the right. The mock beast did not know which one to follow. It had never faced enemies that worked together so well without orders. Su and Sun were in the hardest fight. 3 mock beasts had them trapped. The beasts were strong, with sharp claws and teeth. "They are stronger than us," Su said. "But they fight alone," Sun replied. "We fight together." Through their bond, Su shared her human planning. Sun shared his animal instinct. Together, they moved as if they were one being, human mind and animal strength combined. The mock beasts fought hard, but their moves were easy to guess. They only did what they were told. They could not think of new ideas during the fight. They could not adapt. Sun and Su could. They changed their plans moment by moment, feeling what the other needed without words. From the command center, Admiral Park watched as the first battles turned in Earth's favor. "It's working," she said. "Love is stronger than force." But on the main screen, more mock ships appeared. Many more. "This is just the beginning," Captain Jun said. "They are not using their full force yet." Admiral Park's face was serious. "Then we need more teams like Su and Sun. Many more." 1 week after the first battles, the mock attacked Earth's base on Mars. The red planet had only 500 people living there in domes. They had few weapons. Captain Jung Kim stood in the command center. He watched the screens showing Mars. "We need to send help now. Our ships will take 3 days to reach Mars," Admiral Park said. "By then it will be too late." Dr. Ju walked in with a smile. "Not all ships take 3 days." She pointed to a new screen. It showed a small, fast ship. "This is our new transport. It can reach Mars in 8 hours. "Who will go?" Jun asked. "We have 10 new teams ready," Ju said. "Su and Sun will lead them." On the launch pad, Su checked Sun's vest one last time. Around them, 9 other humans did the same with their animal friends. There were 3 more wolf dogs, 2 bears, 3 birds, and 1 big cat that looked like a tiger. "Are you ready?" Su asked Sun. "Ready," Sun said. He looked at the other animals. They nodded at him. The animals had formed their own bonds with each other, just as they had with their human friends. The teams got into the fast ship. It took off, shooting up through the clouds and into space. The humans felt sick from the speed, but they held on to their animal friends. Through their bonds, the animals gave them strength. On Mars, the people hid in the main dome. Outside, mock beasts walked on the red sand. They were big, with hard shells like tanks. On their backs were guns. In their heads were the metal parts that forced them to obey. "We see the base," Sue said as their ship got close to Mars. "The mock have 20 war beasts around it. They are all big ones." Captain June's voice came through the radio. "Be careful. Those are their heavy attack beasts. They have thick skin that most weapons cannot hurt." The Earth ship landed behind a hill, out of sight of the mock. The teams got out, putting on masks to breathe in the thin air of Mars. The animals did not need masks. Dr. Juwu had made their lungs stronger. Sue looked at the teams. "We need a plan." She touched her vest, sharing her thoughts with Sun. He shared back. Then they both shared with all the other teams. What happened next was new. All 10 humans and all 10 animals began to think together. It was not just pairs anymore. It was one big mind made of 20 beings. "Now," Sue said. The teams split up. The birds flew high, watching everything. The wolf dogs ran fast around the sides. The bears and the tiger walked straight toward the mock beasts. The mock saw the bears and the tiger. They turned their guns to shoot, but they did not see the wolf dogs coming from behind. And they did not know the birds were watching from above, telling the teams where each mock beast was looking. Through their shared mind, all 20 knew what the others knew. They moved as one big team. The mock commander, watching from a ship above Mars, was confused. These Earth animals were not acting like normal animals, and they were not acting like machines with orders. How do they move so well together? The commander asked. "I do not see anyone giving orders." Inside the Mars dome, the people watched in wonder. The Earth teams moved like they were dancing. When a mock beast turned one way, an Earth animal was already moving the other way. They never seemed surprised. They never got trapped. One of the wolf dogs, working with his human friend, found a weak spot in a mock beast's shell. He called to a bear, who hit that same spot hard. The shell broke, and the mock beast fell. The birds dropped small bombs on the mock beasts' heads, right where the control metal was. Some mock beasts stopped moving when their controls broke. In just 1 hour, all 20 mock beasts were down. The Earth teams had won. And they had done it without any orders being given, without any pain being caused. Inside his ship, the mock commander was angry and afraid. How did they do this? Their beasts are smaller than ours. Their weapons are weaker than ours. He did not understand that the Earth teams had something stronger than size or weapons. They had trust. They had love. And because of that, they had something the mock could never have, a perfect team that thought as one. On the main mock ship, Commander Grack stood before a large screen. He watched the video from Mars again and again. His face was hard with anger. "How did they defeat our war beasts?" he asked. No one answered. No one dared. Grack turned to his science officer. "Make our beasts stronger. Make the control devices better." The science officer bowed. "Yes, Commander. But there is something strange about the Earth forces. Their animals work together in new ways. They do not follow normal patterns." "Then we will give our war beasts less choice," Grack said. "More pain if they fail. More control." In the labs deep in the mock ship, the science teams got to work. They took the war beasts and cut open their heads. They put in new metal parts. These new parts sent more pain. They took away more of the beast's own thoughts. The war beasts screamed as the new parts were put in, but no one cared about their pain. On Earth, Captain Jun Kim watched a screen showing the mock fleet. Admiral Park stood next to him. "They are moving," Jun said. "Look, all their ships are going to one place." "The moon," Admiral Park said. They are going to attack our moon base. The moon base was Earth's biggest space station. 2,000 people lived there. It had labs, farms, and factories. It made many things that Earth needed. We must send all our teams to protect it, Admiral Park said. In the training area, Sue sat with Sun. Dr. Ju was checking their vests. The new connections are working well, Ju said. You can now share thoughts with all teams at once, not just feelings. Sun looked at Sue. Through their bond, he could feel she was worried. Sue afraid? He asked. Yes, she said. The Mach lost on Mars. They will try harder now. They will be angry. Sun put his head on her lap. We will be ready. All teams ready. Earth now had 50 human-animal teams. They were all going to the moon to stop the Mach attack. In space, the Earth ships flew toward the moon. They could see the Mach fleet getting closer from the other side. Admiral Park's voice came through the radio. The Mach fleet is 3 times bigger than before. Be careful. As the Earth ships got close to the moon base, the Mach ships appeared. They were faster than before. And the war beasts inside them moved in new ways. Something is different, Minja said as she flew with Sky. The war beasts are moving together now. Through their bonds, all the Earth teams could see what each one saw. They could feel what each one felt. They knew the Mach had changed something. The battle began. Mach ships fired at Earth ships. Earth ships fired back. On the surface of the moon, war beasts landed and began to walk toward the base. Sue and Sun were in the front line with 5 other teams. They faced 10 Mach beasts. These beasts were bigger than before. Their eyes were even more empty. Sue felt something through her bond with Sun. It was not just Sun's feelings. It was something Sun could sense from the Mach beasts. They are in pain, Sue said. More pain than before. The Mach are hurting them to make them fight harder. One of the Mach beasts charged at them. It was fast and strong. But something was wrong with its movements. It was jerking and twitching. Sun growled. Too much control. Beast fighting inside. Hyuk and Moon joined them. Through their bond, they all felt what Sun had sensed. The Mach beasts were fighting their own controls now. The control is too strong, Hyuk said. It's breaking them. One of the Mach beasts suddenly stopped moving. It stood still, shaking. Then it turned and attacked another Mach beast next to it. Captain Jun watched from the command center as the battle turned strange. Some Mach beasts were now fighting each other. What's happening? He asked. Dr. Ju looked at her screens. The Mach have used too much control. Too much pain. The beasts are breaking down. Some are fighting back. On the moon, the Earth teams saw their chance. While the Mach forces were confused, they attacked. The battle was hard, but the Earth teams moved as one perfect group. By the end of the day, the moon base was safe. The Mach ships had pulled back. But this was not the end. It was just the beginning of a bigger fight. The battle for the moon was over, but not everyone had left. One Mach war beast was still there, hiding in a crater. It was hurt badly. Metal parts in its head sparked and smoked. Sue and Sun found it while checking the area. The beast was big, like a mix of a bear and a lizard. Its skin was dark green with blue spots. It had claws as long as Sue's arm. When it saw them, it tried to run. But it fell, too weak to move far. It's dying, Sue said. She felt Sun's feelings through their bond. Sun was not afraid. He felt sad for the beast. Sun walked closer to the Mach beast. It growled but did not attack. Sun, be careful, Sue said. Sun looked back at her. Beast in pain. Help. Sue called Dr. Ju on her radio. We found a live Mach beast. It's hurt. The control parts in its head are broken. Bring it in, Ju said. I want to study it while it's still alive. Sue and Sun brought the Mach beast to the moon base. It was so weak it did not fight them. They put it in a strong cage with thick bars. Dr. Ju and Dr. Da Han came to look at it. Da scanned its head with a special tool. The control parts are breaking down, he said, but they are still sending some signals. The beast lay on the floor of the cage. Its eyes were not as empty as before. There was pain in them. And something else. Something like sadness. Can you remove the control parts? Sue asked. Dad looked unsure. Maybe. But it might kill it. These parts go deep into its brain. Sun sat near the cage. He made a low sound, like a soft howl. The mock beast lifted its head. It looked at Sun. What is Sun doing? Ju asked. He's talking to it, Sue said. She could feel Sun's thoughts through their bond. Sun was sending feelings of peace and friendship to the beast. The beast made a sound back. It was rough and low. It's talking back, Sue said with surprise. For an hour, Sun and the beast made sounds to each other. Sue could feel what Sun was feeling, but she could not understand the beast. Captain Jum Kim came in. Admiral Park wants a report. What have you learned from the beast? We're not sure yet, Ju said. Sun is trying to talk to it. Talk to it. June looked confused. These are war machines. They don't talk. They are not machines, Daz said. They are living beings. The mock made them and control them, but they are alive. The beast made a new sound. It was like a word. Free, it said. Free. Everyone was quiet. The beast had spoken a human word. How does it know our language? June asked. The mock must teach them basic words for commands, Daz said. But this one is using a word on its own. Sun made more sounds. The beast made sounds back. Then it said another word. Help, it said. Help free. Sue looked at Ju and Da. It wants us to help it get free of the control parts. Da looked at his scans again. The parts are already breaking. That's why it can think more on its own now. But there are still some working. Can you take them out safely? June asked. I think so, Da said. Now that I see how they work in a living beast, I might be able to remove them. June thought for a moment. Do it. If we can free one, maybe we can free others. That night, Da and Ju worked for hours. They carefully cut into the beast's head. They removed piece after piece of metal and wire. The beast was awake but did not fight. It seemed to know they were helping. By morning, the last piece was out. The beast lifted its head. Its eyes were clear now, not empty like before. It looked at Sun, then at Sue. Then it spoke, its voice rough but clear. Thank you, it said. I am free. June sent a message to Admiral Park right away. We have changed everything. The mock beasts can think for themselves if we free them from control. This is the turning point of the war. Through her bond with Sun, Sue could feel a new idea forming. If they could free one beast, they could free others. And if they freed enough, the mock would lose their army, she whispered. In the main meeting room on Earth, Captain Jum Kim showed his plan. On the big screen was a picture of a mock ship. Around the table sat Admiral Park, Dr. Ju, Dr. Da, and the leaders of the human-animal teams. We cannot win this war with weapons alone, Jun said, but we have found a new way. He touched the screen. It showed the freed mock beast, now named River. River had been living with them for a week. It had learned to speak better every day. River has told us much about the mock ships, Jun continued. He knows where the control center is, where they keep the other beasts, how the ships work. Admiral Park looked serious. You want to free the war beasts like we freed River? Yes, Jun said. If we free them, the mock will lose their army. And the beasts will help us. They hate the mock for what was done to them. How do we do this? Sue asked. Sun sat next to her, listening. June pointed to a young man at the end of the table. Engineer Jin Park has made a new device. Jin held up a small round thing the size of his palm. This sends out a special wave. It does not hurt people or animals. But it stops the mock control parts from working. Not forever, but for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes is not much time. Admiral Park said. It's enough, Jun replied. Once the control stops, Dai and his team can remove the parts, or at least damage them enough that the beasts can fight back against the controls. Dai nodded. I have trained 20 medical teams. They know how to find and break the control parts quickly. And I have made a simple picture guide, Ju added, so the freed beasts can help free the others. The plan was set. They would attack the main mock ship. The human-animal teams would go in first. They would use Jin's device to stop the controls. Then the medical teams would free as many beasts as they could. 2 days later, 100 small Earth ships flew toward the main mock ship. Inside each ship was a human-animal team. They had trained hard for this mission. The mock ship was huge. It was like a city in space. It had many war beasts on it, more than 500. Begin the attack, Admiral Park ordered from Earth. The Earth ships fired at the mock ship. But this was just to distract them. While the mock were busy with the attack, 20 small ships went to the back of the mock ship. They found a door that River had told them about. Su, Sun, and their team went in first. Inside, the halls were dark and strange. The walls looked like they were made of skin and bone, not metal. There were lights that glowed like eyes. Through their bonds, all the teams stayed connected. They could feel where each other was. They moved like one big animal with many parts. They found the first group of war beasts in a large room. The beasts were in cages. They looked sad and empty, waiting for orders. Jin turned on his device. It made no sound, but all the war beasts suddenly stood up. They looked around confused. The control parts in their heads had stopped working. Now, Su said. The medical teams ran to the cages. They opened them and began to work on the beasts' heads. Some beasts were afraid and tried to fight. But Sun and the other Earth animals talked to them. They sent feelings of peace and freedom. Day worked on a big beast that looked like a tiger with scales. He cut out the main control part. The beast shook its head. Its eyes cleared. Free, it asked in a rough voice. Free, Daz said. Alarms began to sound. The mock knew something was wrong. Soldiers ran toward the beast room. We need more time, Daz called. They had only freed 30 beasts so far. Su looked at the freed beasts. Will you help us free the others? She asked them. The tiger-like beast stood tall. Yes. Show us how. Jumu gave them the picture guides. The freed beasts looked at them. They understood. We free our brothers and sisters. The beast said. You fight the mock. Su, Sun, and their team ran to hold off the mock soldiers. Behind them, something amazing happened. The freed beasts began to free the others, one by one, then faster and faster. The beasts were set free. And every freed beast joined the fight against their old masters. Commander Grak stood on the bridge of his ship. Red lights flashed all around him. Alarms rang in his ears. His officers ran from screen to screen, their faces full of fear. What is happening? Grak shouted. Why are the war beasts not obeying? The controls are failing, an officer said. The beasts are breaking free. They are attacking our people. On the screens, Grak could see the halls of his ship. War beasts ran through them, but they were not hunting humans. They were hunting mock soldiers. The beasts that had once been their slaves were now their enemies. How is this possible? Grak asked. No one had an answer. In the lower parts of the ship, Su, Sun, and their team fought alongside the freed beasts. More and more beasts joined them every minute. The tiger-like beast, now named Storm, led many others. This way, Storm said, to the control room. The teams followed. Through their bonds, they all moved as one force. The human minds gave plans. The animal minds gave strength and speed. and the freed beasts gave knowledge of the ship. They reached a big door. Behind it was Commander Grack and the main control room. "This ends now," Sue said. The door burst open. The teams and freed beasts poured in. The mock officers tried to fight, but they were few against many, and they had never learned to fight their own battles. They had always let the war beasts do that for them. Commander Grack stood tall. He pulled out a weapon. "I will not surrender to animals," he said. "We are not just animals," Sun said, stepping forward. "We are friends. We are partners. We are family." Grack looked shocked. "It speaks." "How?" "We speak because we are free," Storm said, standing beside Sun. "We think because we are free. We fight because we choose to, not because we must." Grack fired his weapon, but he missed. Storm jumped on him, pinning him to the ground. But Storm did not kill them. Instead, he held him there, looking into his eyes. "We could kill you," Storm said, "but we are better than that. Better than you." Captain Jum Kim and Admiral Park arrived with more teams. They took control of the ship. The mock soldiers gave up their weapons. The war was over. 3 months later, Earth had changed. The freed beasts lived with humans now. They were not pets or tools. They were friends and helpers. Many worked with their human partners to build and grow things, not to destroy. In a green field near the main Earth Command Center, Sue sat with Sun. They watched as human children played with young beasts. Some were Earth animals like Sun. Others were freed mock beasts who had chosen to stay. "I never thought it would end like this," Sue said. "Good end," Sun said. His speech was better now, but still simple. Better than fighting. River and Storm walked up to them. They had become leaders among the freed beasts. "The last mock ship left today," River said. "They have signed the peace agreement. Will they honor it?" Sue asked. "They have no choice," Storm said. "Without their war beasts, they have no power. And they know we will fight them if they come back." Admiral Park joined them, along with Captain Jun and Dr. Ju. They sat in the grass, watching the playing children and young beasts. "The mock never understood," Ju said. "They thought control was strength, but it was their weakness. And they thought love was weakness," Jun added. "But it was our strength." A small mock beast cub ran up to them. It had been born after the war, never knowing the pain of control. A human girl ran beside it, laughing. They were playing tag. "Your turn," the girl called to Sun. Sun looked at Sue. She nodded with a smile. Sun jumped up and ran to join the game. Admiral Park watched them play. "They fed their war beasts orders," she said softly. "We fed ours, love." "And it killed better," Sue finished. "But more importantly, it built better. Around them, Earth was at peace. Humans, Earth animals, and freed beasts all lived together. They had beaten the mock not just with strength or weapons, but with a simple truth, that love and freedom are stronger than fear and control. And that was a lesson the stars themselves would remember." The end.